Hello and welcome to the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona for not just this last race of the 2023 Spanish Formula 4 Championship, but a presentation remembering the late Maria de Villota, the former F1 test driver who passed away several years ago following a testing accident. And many notable drivers on the grid part of that celebration. There's Pedro de la Rosa, Marc Genet, there's Emmo Fittipaldi up there as well, and Alex Palou, who's the current IndyCar champion, a two-time champion. He, of course, co-running the team in the Eurocup 3 championship. And some podium celebrations from this weekend. It has been a weekend so far, very much, on one hand, very much about Christian Ho, having won 2 races, 2 pole positions, 2 fastest laps and pole position for this race. Alongside him is Enzo Deligny, Theo Neal, who wrapped up the title in yesterday's race 1. But didn't have the best of races 2. He had a difficult qualifying, I think it's fair to say. And started 30th, did come all the way back up to 17th, and he received a time penalty following race 2, which dropped him down to 20th position. It was a race that we thought was about to end under safety car. Following a spin by Max Restrepo, beached himself in the gravel, but thankfully the marshals worked very, very well to get him clear, and we got a race. But that was them. This is this race. Neil may have won the championship, but there is still a battle for second in the standings between poleman Christian Ho, who's on 262 points, Valerio Rinicella, who's third in the standings on 241, and Enzo Deligny, who's fourth in the standings on 240. Ho is on pole, then Deligny, then Neil third, Rinicella's fourth, and we are about to go live as Ho in the white and black machine on pole, Enzo in the slightly muted Red Bull colour second on the grid. The revs rise, and we are go. Very good start by Christian Ho, slightly sluggish away by Deligny. Neil looks like he may try and get a run down the outside into turn 1, and Rinicella well on the grass, defending against or pushing against Deligny. I do wonder the stewards may have a look at that. Neil off the circuit, completely taking the runoff area, keeps his foot in it and actually goes right around Deligny and into second place. Well, controversial maneuvers right at the start there by 3 of the top 4. We've seen Noah Lyle going into third place. I think we have a driver off circuit. That is Fernando Barrichello. Barrichello, who, let's to be fair, has had a very, very difficult season so far, and it pretty much ends really in this style. It's kind of gone in the gravel trap. Neil, who was looking at Deligny a few moments ago, now looking at Noah Lyle, but that's going to halt for a moment because the safety car has been called. Pedro Claro in all of that is up to 5th place. while Matteo De Peo jumps to 6th, Valerio Rinicella down to 7th. And that could cost Rinicella 3rd in the championships, just 1 point ahead of Deligny. I think there will be definitely a review of that run down into turn 1. There is one thing to go tight and close to the wall. It's something completely different to go on the grass completely like that. And I wonder if they will take a review. We'll see better now. Oh my word, I think Deligny definitely may be having words with the stewards following that. Moving across the circuit to the right, forcing Rinicella to avoiding action and onto the grass, which in itself could have caused a significant crash had Rinicella got it wrong. And thankfully, Rinicella kept it steady, despite keeping his foot right to the floor. That could have been quite a serious incident, it must be said. And we saw Fernando Barrichello go off as the back of the field went round its first corner. Look at it again. I do believe there will be... I do wonder if there will be some investigation into this. Rinicella is on the inside line, and Deligny does come across and continues really to come across. I cannot see how that won't be thoroughly investigated, fully investigated. So the team manager for car 17, that is the team manager for Enzo Deligny's car, has been ordered to report to race stewards ASAP. I do not see how that incident will be viewed in any way favourably. And following the team manager, car 17 report to the stewards ASAP, it then has underneath it immediately. Well, we'll see what happens from that. Meanwhile, Christian Ho leads this race. Again, as mentioned, he was race winner for races 1 and 2, pole positions for races 1, 2 and 3, fastest lap for races 1 and 2. And very much on his way to solidifying second in the championship. Bearing in mind, after race 2, his gap over Rinicella was 21 points. With 26 available from this race, it'd be incredibly difficult for Rinicella or Deligny to overturn Ho's advantage if Ho had a pretty solid race. But in saying that, pretty solid race this weekend from Christian Ho has been him going on to win. The team manager for Campos Racing has also been asked to report to race control. Sure. Not entirely sure who that would be for. Well, that is one way to start the final race of this year. We've had 20 races so far. This 21st and last. While we have the opportunity, prior to this weekend, the calendar for the 2024 season was announced. As I flick furiously through my notes. And for 2024, we will be visiting Navarra. That'll be opening the season on May the 10th to the 12th. Then the second round will be at Portimao over the weekend of June the 7th to the 9th. Paul Ricard joins the Spanish Formula 4 circus for a round over July 5th to the 7th. At Motorland Aragon, we will be there for July 26th to 28th. Then Ricardo Tomo in Valencia for round 5 over August 30th to September 1st. The penultimate round of the championship at Jerez will be over September 27th to 29th. And then 5 weeks later, we come for the finale at Barcelona this circuit for November 8th to 10th. No Spa-Francorchamps next year. It is replaced with Paul Ricard. And with that, this race is about to get going. Christian Ho facing his third safety car restart of the weekend. Or was it fourth? I can't remember. They all pile into one after a while. And Ho keeping the field very tightly together. Deligny is there. You have Nail in third position. Ho gets his foot to the floor, exits out of the penultimate corner. Then there will be one to go as they pass the pit lane entry and onto the start-finish straight. And with 22 minutes and 45 seconds and 1 lap remaining, the final race of this 2023 Spanish Formula 4 Championship gets going once again. That is Noah Stromstead battling with Juan Cota over 8th and 9th positions, and they do clash slightly, but they remain on circuit. That is Cota just ahead of Stromstead. Cota up to 8th place. This is most certainly his best performance so far this season. That's it, Matteo De Peo just going past the screen. Valerio Runacella just behind him in 7th position. Certainly not how Runacella envisaged this race going. Oh no, we do have another clash there. I think that was between Pedro Clara and Noah Lyle. And another driver in the background. That may have been Clara going off the circuit. It wasn't that, it was Runacella. Runacella off the circuit going past De Peo. I do wonder if there's a little bit of damage there between Clara and Lyle. It just seemed to be a slight touch. We have a driver in the gravel. It is a number 18 of Andres Cardenes. A positive season for him, but it's not how he wanted it to end at all. Drive-through penalty for car 17. That is Enzo Deligny forcing another driver off the circuit. And that will be taken once the race goes green again. And will surely drop Deligny right to the rear of the field almost, probably the latter third of the field, and will take him clean out of the battle for second in the standings. And it'll be interesting. The yellow flags have been waved. What will they do? And oh, there's another driver off the circuit and rejoining. That is Al Rafai, I believe. No, sorry, Pablo Sarrazin. That was Pablo Sarrazin. We've had several penalties so far this weekend of drivers going off the circuit and rejoining in an unsafe manner. Well, plenty going on so far in this race. As we see, Noah Lyle on screen chasing Valeria Runacella. Runacella has surpassed his Rodin Cars rival. But I do wonder maybe if Lyle did take a little bit of damage. And he's locking up. Again, De Peo pressing to get past Lyle. Lyle, of course, who's had dual duties so far this season. He has been racing in British Formula 4 as well. Only missed one round of the Spanish Championship, one round that clashed. Lyle just 11th in the standings for Spanish Formula 4. Was probably hoping to get some more out of it this year, must be said, but he has done reasonably well, performed reasonably well this season. You see Runacella in 4th place. Then he got Lyle, then De Peo, then Clairot, then Cota up to 8th, Stromstead 9th, and Chiano Alizzari 10th place, rounding out the points paying positions as it stands. Biggest starter so far, Daniel Matzia up 11 positions, Avis Rodea up 10th. They're currently 17th and 23rd respectively. Alex Ninovic 13th, having started 22nd. For Juan Cota, he's taken 4 points so far this season. He's had 1 point finish. It was in 8th place at the third race in Estoril. And right now he is on terms to double that. Rinocella beginning to build a gap over Lyle. I'm actually really quite surprised. I'd be surprised if there isn't any kind of damage on Rinocella's car following that run through the grass on the opening lap. We're beginning to get warning flags for track limits already. Jessica Carrasquada has received his final warning. Any more, and he will be penalised. Now we have the live standings, point standings you see on screen there, with Deligny holding third place ahead of Rinocella. That is going to cease because Deligny at some point has to take a drive-through penalty. Now normally that is 3 laps after the penalty has been issued. And Deligny is coming up close to that soon. I think he may need to pit at the end of this lap. Either at the end of this lap or the end of the next lap, if he is to avoid being disqualified. It's my reading of the rules. This is why the penalty's been issued. Deligny kept on pushing, and you can see the marshals having to jump well back from their post in case there was an accident, because Rinocella was pushed pretty close to the actual wall, the marshal post wall. And Nail taking to the runoff area. And lots of questions about that this weekend as well. Lots of drivers have gone off at turn 1, taken a runoff area, but kept their foot in it, and actually emerged almost with an advantage into turn 3. That is one of the, I think it's Theo Jensen almost running into the back of someone. This really does have, and that is the clash between... That was Alexander Absakava, who's in the pits, and Pablo Sarrazin. Lots and lots and lots and lots of incidents in this race. As that's Lyle and Claro, who have punished themselves and now down in 24th and 25th positions. So while we're watching the replay, there was another incident between those two, and it's taken them both out of the order. They're running, as mentioned, 24th and 25th now. So this is Claro. And he tries to go the inside. Not in a million years! Not in a million years was that going to work. Noah Lyle will be right to be furious with that. Anyway, this really does have a feel of the end of season race. Lots of drivers with the positions in the championship absolutely solidified, pushing and punishing their cars as much as they can possibly get away with. Out in front, Christian Hill, fast lap leads the race. Not bothering him. He's led every single lap in the 3 races so far as well to add that into the mix. How good his weekend has been. Black flag for car 17. Now this is what I was talking about a few moments ago. Deligny needed to take that penalty within 3 laps of the penalty being issued, the drive-through being issued. Deligny has not accepted the drive-through penalty. He's kept on driving. He passes the pit lane once again. That is a disqualification. Now I understand this is a junior championship. These championships are all about learning. Well, Deligny's got to learn an awful lot now. That is absolutely unacceptable behaviour. And you cannot behave like that on the circuit. You cannot push a driver off the circuit to that degree, and you cannot then ignore the penalty once it's been issued. I'm afraid that is disqualification for Deligny. And that is not the kind of behaviour that helmet Marco appreciates. So, Enzo Deligny is currently listed as second, but well, he's certainly not going to stay there. And just behind him, we have another drive off the circuit. That is the number 36 of Gabriel Gomez, who this is his first foray into Spanish Formula 4. Damage to the left front. The Cram Motorsport racer, who is in the seat this weekend in place of Kai Darianani. Safety car has been called. The car looks properly beached, and with the damaged left front, it's not going anywhere. And while I'm at it, other little bits of news, a bit late in the race, but hey ho, there you go. Luis Carlos Perez is in the GRS entry instead of Gabriel Stilp this weekend. Perez driving the number 72 car. And Akshay Bora is racing in the number 61 machine for MP Motorsport. Bora is currently in 16th position. Perez is 24th. And we see Deligny put on the inside of the circuit. And he's gesticulating in the car. I don't know whether he ignored the message or finally got the message and has realised it kind of... Yeah, and you can see he's thumping his steering wheel. He's absolutely furious. There's absolutely no reason to be furious. And he's complaining vociferously, gesticulating in the car. I'm sure he's shouting over the team radio. And I'm afraid it's a slam dunk. And Deligny would have taken third place in the championship had it stayed as it is. And as a result, he will drop down to fourth. Unless, of course, Rinicella retires. Rinicella is currently fourth. The driver in between them, Theophil Nail, is the championship winner. And he's still complaining over the... I don't know whether it's he doesn't understand what he's done, or he doesn't agree with the penalty. And in which case, if he doesn't agree with the penalty, then I don't really know what to say. Amidst all of what has happened recently, and with the disappearance of Noah Lyle and Pedro Clero down to 23rd and 22nd respectively, Lateo de Peo is 5th. Juan Cota up to 6th. It's his best position of the season. Keanu Alexari now running 7th. Noah Lyle is 8th. Hugh Yamakoshi is 9th. And Alex Ninovich is currently 10th. Griffin Peebles is 11th. And really is absolutely no excuse whatsoever for not knowing that you've received that kind of penalty. You pass, even if you don't have radio, even if the radio is malfunctioning, then, you know, he's passed the pit boards on several occasions. He should know. And also, when he gets the black flag, there will be, on the stand, it will be the race director will hold a black flag with the car number out the front. So, again, he still continued. And the race has now restarted. There are people on the pit wall who cannot understand, his mechanics on the pit wall cannot understand why he's not come in. These drivers do have radio, they have pit boards, there's more than enough communication for Enzo Deligny to have been told on numerous occasions about this. And this, if he does continue to the end of this race, you know, this could end up being in some sort of a penalty that goes long beyond this race. And absolutely no idea why he's still out. But he is, and there's 9 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. He's clearly quite furious. And that is not necessarily a good frame of mind to be in when driving these cars at this speed. Christian Ho leads Then you have Deligny. Then TfL Niall, the 2023 champion, Spanish Formula 4 champion, in third position. And Niall, you'll notice he's not challenging Deligny. Niall will know from his radio, from his Soundclock Racing team, they will know that Deligny has a penalty. So Niall has absolutely no need to challenge Deligny whatsoever, because he knows in the results sheet, Deligny is just going to just disappear from in front of him. And there is the pit board once again. Box in number 17, Enzo Deligny. Deligny is no doubt a very, very quick driver, but you also must question on occasion that kind of mentality. Max Restrepo, meanwhile, has popped into the pits, ending what has been a pretty difficult weekend for him. We have 26 runners left from the 34 who started. As mentioned, there's been quite a few incidents in this race so far. And we're still watching Deligny, wondering whether he will actually come to the pit. I mean, at this point, I can just, and we have another accident. And this time, it is Theo Jensen in the Soundclock Racing car. He's gone front end. I think that's the exit of turn 5 down this little short chute to turn 6. And that is a very slow GRS machine. That is piloted by Luis Carlos Perez, the driver who's making his debut weekend in Formula 4. Yellow flag is out. And the safety car is on standby. So for those of you wondering, the safety car now is officially called. So for those of you wondering, Deligny got a penalty because at the very start of the race they were going down towards turn 1. He had Rinicella on the inside challenging for position. Deligny then pushed right to the point where Rinicella went clean onto the grass, almost hit the wall near where the marshal post was. And very aggressively forced the driver clean off the circuit. The car in the pit lane is number 3, Jesse Carrasquada. His season ending somewhat prematurely. And we have 5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. I think now we've got 24 cars left from the 34 who started. And so as Christian Ho kind of rounds out the final few corners, we will see him collect the safety car in maybe about 30 seconds time. Black flag again, car 17, that's been out for quite a while now. And Deligny will continue on because it's really what he has been doing. There you see the pit board just beyond the yellow flag. It says Enzo Deligny, box in. And Christian Ho just coming up to the rear of the safety car now. You have Deligny in second place, TfL Niall third, Rinicella fourth, DePeo fifth, Van Kota is sixth, Ken Alazzari seventh, Roa Stromstead eighth, Yamakoshi ninth, Ninovic 10th, Peebles 11th. from Nail to Peoples will improve by 1 position because Delaney is not going to be allowed to stand in the points. Anyway, this has been interesting. Definitely be interesting for that man after this race. He's going to have some words spoken to. That'll be interesting. I do wonder if he's going to park, if he'll plant his car in the second place board at Park Ferme anyway. The thing young boys do. There's the Campos Racing Mechanics. All doing what they can from the pit wall and beyond sending out messages and waving the pit board and waving the black flags. There's really not a whole lot that the team can do from there. We're starting to get some time penalties through now for track limits. Jesse Carrasquada was one of them. He received 5 seconds time penalty for multiple breaches, but he's retired now, so that doesn't matter. Eric Genet, who's currently 13th, has got a 5-second time penalty. Car 88, which is Griffin Peebles, has 2-second time penalty. Peebles, by the way, started from the pit lane for this race. He's currently 11th. The reason he started from the pit lane is he actually had too many track limit breaches so far this weekend. And 2-second time penalty for Daniel Matzia, who is currently 14th, and 2-second time penalty for car 28, which is Isaac Bracci, who is currently 21st. And so, safety car remains out. Now they see a replay to start with. Now you'll see the reason why Delaney got his penalty here. As a switch from the front. Rinicello's on the inside line, the orange car. You see Delaney push over, push, and then he moves clean across the circuit. It's actually quite dangerous as well, the way he swept clean left across the circuit, right to in front of Noah Lyle. And so this race is pretty much going to be allowed to time down, I think. Oh no, I think we may get a 1-lap shootout. This will be 1 lap because the clock is about to go out. Yes, we're going to get a 1-lap shootout. Hooray! And yes, for a question in the chat, the marshals did actually have to jump out of the way to avoid a potential incident, such as and when that happens, that's obviously a bad sign. Well, let's see, because the cars are being bunched up by Christian Ho in the white and black machine. There's Delaney just behind, and Noah. That is TFL Nail in 3rd place, and in 4th in the group is Valeria Rinicella. Possibly the good thing about this is the fact that there is a car between Rinicella and Delaney. And Ho gets his foot down and restarts from the penultimate corner. And there's been so much talk about the incident at the start of the race and other incidents. You cannot take away that absolutely Christian Ho has been brilliant, not just in this race, but this weekend. As you see, that is DePeo and Cota. Running over 5th in Kiana Alexari there as well. Noah Stromstead in 8th. Alexari, the number 14 machine for MP Motorsport. Solid season. As Ho continues to lead on this final lap. Will we see any last gas maneuvers? And Rinnicella down the inside of Theophil Nail. So Rinnicella takes 3rd position. Or does he? They're still side by side as they go through the corner exit. Theophil Nail, wheel to wheel through the right. Oh, and they go a little bit off the circuit. I think Matteo De Peo is going to try and take Rinnicella for 4th position, but De Peo goes onto the gravel and onto the curbs, and he gets to stabilise. Now Will Wanko to go through to take 5th place. The Campos Racing driver gets a run as they come down the back straight. He's got the inside, but it's too far back. And we see Stromstead making a dive on Kiana Alexari in the hairpin. He does. He goes through wheel to wheel, 7th place. Will he make it? Kiana Alexari is blocked slightly by Kota just ahead. And Stromstead goes down the inside and does make the position stick. 7th place for Stromstead. And it doesn't matter anything to Christian Ho as he comes across the start-finish line to end as winner once again. Nail was classified 2nd place, Rinnicella 3rd, De Peo is 4th, Kota 5th, Stromstead 6th, Alexari 7th, Yamakoshi 8th, Ninovic 9th, and Flavio Oliveri comes home 10th place. And Enzo Deligny disappeared from the screens completely. Disqualified for a frankly outrageous manoeuvre on the opening lap, and then ignoring the penalty thereafter. The live point standings, Nail champion, we knew that, 322. Christian Ho solidifies 2nd in the standings with 288, with Valeria Rinnicella confirming 3rd place with 269, Deligny 4th with 240. Well, that was that was crazy. But that's how we like it in Spanish Formula 4. Absolutely absurd and crazy and frankly mad. And, well, you know, we at least got 24 cars to the end. And, whew. So, just to confirm, Christian Ho wins. Theophil Nail is in 2nd place. Then you got Rinnicella, that's the podium. Matteo De Peo is 4th, then Juan Kota, Noah Stromstead, Kiana Alexari, Hugh Yamakoshi, Alex Ninovic 9th, and well, I'm showing now Griffin Peebles. Oh yes, Griffin Peebles, possibly 10th. Griffin Peebles, I think he may have finished on the road in that position, but he's got a 5-second time penalty. Sure. I believe that has dropped him behind Oliveri, which is why Oliveri takes home the final points playing position. I'm going to wait till the positions come up on the screen, because frankly, I have absolutely no idea. There were further time penalties right at the tail end of that. Noah Lyle took a 2-second time penalty. That'll be another punch in the gut for him, considering he was running quite high up for much of the race before a collision with Pedro Claro. Pretty much dropped him and Claro down to 24th and 25th as it was at the time. By the way, Noah came home 18th, Claro was 20th. And yes, I think that is actually all the other penalties I mentioned beforehand, and then there was the additional penalty for Noah Lyle. I think that's all of them. I think. And we see drivers coming into Parc Ferme now. I did wonder if Deligny was going to chance his arm and try and park in Parc Ferme anyway. That would be the ultimate kicker. As we see, no, Theophil Nail guided to 2nd spot. The champion and runner-up today. And we're waiting for Christian Ho to come in. Christian Ho, actually, I know I said it a few moments ago, but 3 wins, 3 pole positions, 3 fastest laps. He's led all 3 races for every single lap, as Rinnicella does take his 3rd position. Nudges the board slightly. 3rd position in the race, 3rd position in the standings. And Christian Ho coming through to the race winners board. Oh, hey, and crashes into Rinnicella in Parc Fermé because it's the last race of the season, and why not? Well, the winner, Christian Ho, has been absolutely brilliant this weekend. He's had weekends where we've seen flashes where he's won a race here and there and had a couple of podiums, and then had a race where he's dropped down the order completely. This is, I think, the first weekend he's really, really properly put everything together. And this is his 2nd season in Spanish Formula 4, so fully expecting Ho to kind of progress to one of the regional F3 championships for 2024. And the Campos mechanics, who were curious and bewildered by Deligny's behaviour on track, are absolutely delighted by that of their winning driver. And he's top 3, really, of 3 drivers that will certainly be moving up. Rinnicella, of course. And this is the Campos Racing. The Mattia De Peo there with Christian Ho, the team's champion for 2023, Campos Racing. And well done for them. And some of the highlights from the race, which was quite frantic to say the least. Lots of chopping and changing throughout. That was a collision between Sarrazin and Absakava. And this was a lot of contra. Yes, he did. At first, I definitely saw them clash, and that was when Rinnicella went through to take both of them. And I wasn't really sure. But that was the first time Claro clattered Noah Lyall. And this is the 2nd time they collided. And that was just way too ambitious for Claro. And that is Gabriel Gomez going out, and that is Theodore Jensen going out. And now we have a driver who's not gone out at all. It's Christian Ho, and he's been interviewed down in the paddock.
3 of 3 this weekend, last race of the championship, last point 1. How do you feel?
It feels amazing, everything just feels so quiet now, it feel calm, everything feels nice. I mean, having a perfect weekend is not easy. I mean, getting both poles, fastest laps in all 3 races, and the wins in all 3 races. It was a perfect end. I think I knew myself that in order for me to compete for the championship, I had to do this, and job done. But obviously, it was not enough. Congrats to everybody in the championship. Congrats to Campos for the team's championship. And yeah, I think I'm vice champion this year, which is nice as well. But yeah, perfect end to a season that was full of ups and downs. And yeah, I want to thank my engineer, my team, my parents, and yeah, everybody for supporting me. And yeah, I'll be back next year, and I'll be back even stronger. So yeah, thank you.
What do you expect for the next year? Any plan that you can tell us?
Yeah, I have something, but can't say it yet. But I promise you that it will be even better than this year. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Ooh, cryptic message there from Christian Ho. The race, actually, it just reminded myself, he also won the last race in Valencia a few weeks back. So that's actually 4 wins on the bounce for Christian Ho. Brilliant way to end the season as we see the final results. Ho winning from Nail, Rinnicella third, DePeo fourth, Kota fifth, his best result of the season. Noah Stromstead sixth, Alexari seventh, Yamakoshi eighth, Ninovic ninth, and Oliveri took 10th place. Oliveri did finish behind Peebles, but Peebles had a 5-second penalty which dropped him down to 13th, as you can see on screen. Morano 11th, his best race of the best result of the season. Same with Bora, only his debut weekend. Grazia 14th, then Mazzia, Rodea, Claro, Fiorentino 18th, Lyle ended up 19th, and Castillo 20th. Noah Lyle was running well up earlier on, then had a brush with Pedro Claro. Perez finished 21st, Parashi 22nd, Genet 23rd was the final finisher. Jensen Carrasquado, both retired, as did Gomez, Restrepo, Absakaba, Sarazan, Al Rafai, Cardenas, Barcella, Hedinez, and Hedinez did not start, and Deligny was disqualified after finishing 2nd place. Wow. We are waiting for the final podium celebrations of this 2023 season. And we see some more highlights from the race. And several drivers, as I mentioned during the race, lots of action between several drivers because it did have a feel of the last race of the season. And there's quite a frantic battle there between Lyle, Claire Rinnicella and Stromstead. And ended quite spectacularly round about here when Claire and Lyle ran out of road and ran down the order. I think we can look to lots of several second season drivers who really stepped up to mark. Theophile Nail, Christian Ho, Rinnicella really improved as well. And we're also seeing some debutant drivers who will be hopefully back next year as we now get the podium in the Singapore national anthem. And congratulations once again to the race winner. Christian Ho, and the podium sitters Theophile Nail. On the left hand side, the champion of this 2023 Spanish Formula 4 champion. Ho, of course, as mentioned, the runner up in the standings. And the third place man who is now receiving the bronze trophy. That is also third in the championship for Rinnicella. And Theophile Nail, who started in Spanish Formula 4 halfway through last season with his team Santaloc Racing, who've been absolutely brilliant since they came into single-seater racing, a team very much famous for GT racing. And now the gold trophy for the race winner, Christian Ho. Very cryptic interview, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of him next season. And the trophy, the gold trophy for the Campos Racing representative, the winning team this weekend, and Campos Racing really coming together. And I must actually mention Christian Ho's run in the second half of the season. From race 3 at Jerez, at one point he had 5 consecutive podium positions, a second and 4 thirds. Then he took a 6th, and then he finished the season with 4 wins in a row. So brilliant job by him, and brilliant job too by all the team at the races throughout this year. My thanks to the production team and for everyone who was working on the Spanish language side as well. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring these races to you this weekend, this season. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you Nails Championship and all the action from the rest of the field. We will return in 2024, starting next May at Navarra. Until then, enjoy the winter, have a happy Christmas, happy New Year, happy Valentine's Day, happy Easter, happy May Day.